if you can, give me a quick shout out and a quick hello. Just let me know that the microphone is working very well and you can hear me nice and clear. Hello and welcome to another coffee break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, the coffee breaks are designed to be virtual to where you ask the questions and we collaborate back and forth, and I answer the questions, or we bring on guests that help us answer these questions. Now, today's episode, what we're going to work on is how to quickly develop a style, how to quickly, using some of the LUTs and some of the tools that we have in Luminar, how to quickly color grade our image to make it fast and to make the images more exciting. All right? Hey, thank you so much. Hello from Texas. We have Ed again. Hello, Ed. We have our pilots. I bet you, the pilots, I can only imagine you guys are probably flipping out the most. Excuse me, to where you want to get out there and get out there flying as soon as you can. I'm sure it must be an incredible feeling. Let's see, who do we have up here? A good up at Russell Afternoon. Soggy Orlando. Photo, oh, wow. Yeah, today was rather dreary today. I went out earlier just to go to a chiropractor, and my chiropractor said that after he's done adjusting me, he needs a chiropractor to adjust him. So, excuse me, that's where I went earlier today, and like you said, it was very soggy and not your typical Florida today. All right, well, let's dive in, and this is who I think it is. It is. Hello, Tracy Cook. All right, I can imagine, guys. I've always wanted to learn how to fly. My sense of direction is horrible, and for my buddy Russell and Tracy and all that know me well, I have a hard time driving a car. So flying an airplane, I think, would be a little out of my league. So we'll see. All right, so here I am. Let's take an image from a photo shoot I did. Now, this image here is of my beautiful little cousin Angelique. Now I say that because earlier when I did this, a guy wrote in, Vanelli, in all due respect, that girl is so beautiful she doesn't need any filters applied to her. And then I joked with him and said that's my cousin. Then he backpedaled a little bit. Well, that's not what I meant, but we thought it was comical. So here I am. Let me grab some of the favorites. Here's one we worked on earlier. Now, here's what we're going to do. And one moment. Good morning from Australia. Good. All right, so here we are with Angelique. Now, I'm going to start out, and instead of doing my traditional coming in and processing the photo, let's just jump right into the creative side, and we're going to apply a LUTs to this image. And then we'll go back and do our creative editing. All right? So, first step is a LUTs is a lookup table. So it's going to replace the colors in here with a lookup table. So let's say if it sees greens, it may replace it with a different color, but it's in a set pattern. But for first, let me get this to where there's none. Here we go, reset adjustments. I thought it looked, there we go, there's the original image. All right, so here we are with the original image. And I'm going to use the creative tools. So out of the camera, this came out very good, but if you notice, there's just the colors are just dull. Now this is an NEF file, so it is a raw file, and the file itself needs to be processed. Now I could do what we normally do, and just come over here and start with the AI image enhancer look, and that's going to apply. Oh, Sorry about that. Let me pull it back up again. So, and what that's going to apply for us as it's launching, it's going to apply the AI structures, the AI tools to it to give you just a real quick an edit, a real quick edit. Let's get back to it again. And in doing that, it's going to make the image just look how it should look. So a raw file, remember, it's just a raw file. In order for you to get the most out of that raw file, everything is flat, and then you can apply your special filters and tools and stuff along that to the image itself. All right, so here we are. There we go. So here's before, here's after, and now it's getting right where it should be. All right. So I wasn't going to start from scratch, but you know what? I really like the way this looks. Excuse me. I swear to God, I don't cough until I get on air with you guys. So I'm going to come down to the creative tools, and here's where we're going to apply a lookup table or a custom LUT. Now, what I like about this is they're broken down in different sections, from a cinematic look to creative. If I come down here, cross-processing, and the photo toning. All right? I'm going to just come down, and I just want to hover over some of these. Look at that. I like Gloria. I like Maria, only because that's my sister's name. Ooh, Rosa looks good. But actually, you know what? I'm liking a lot of these right here. Earlier, we did Gloria. I think here I'm going to do Cena. Look at that. So, before and after. That looks really sharp. Now, the lookup tables or the color grading, it was designed for film because they're photographing, over courses of weeks and weeks and weeks, and sometimes even over months. And as you're doing the processing, the light could be different in all areas that they're in. So to make the film look consistent, they apply a color grading to it. Well, us photographers kind of saw that, and we really liked it a lot. So we started to apply it into our photos. And so look at this. So here's before and after. Here it is in the very beginning. It's a raw file. And there it is now. Awesome. Now, I like it. From here, I can still add a little more tools to it. I like how it, actually, you know what? I really like how everything's looking. Let's just see what structure will do. So AI structure is going to take care of the background. That's a little too much. I'm going to dial it back. Now, I want to add a little more structure or detail to her hair. So let's use the detail enhancer. And I'll apply a few of my favorite settings. If you notice, I like to go on an angle here. Apply more of the small details, and then a little less of the medium, and even lesser of the large detail. And typically, if you zoom into 100%, you'll be able to see a better look at it. All right, I like it. Let's turn it on and off. Now notice when I did that, look what it's doing to the skin. So we'll do two things to fix this problem. One, I'm going to dial back the small details. And then two, we'll come over to the portrait enhancer. And with the portrait enhancer, we will apply the skin enhancer. Move any blemishes. And apply a good amount of skin softening. Look at that. Now, you know what's really cool about this? If you notice, it recognized that Angelique has beauty marks. So it didn't erase the beauty marks when I did the the AI defects removal. I call it the blemish removal. So here it is. 2. Good. Now I'll come over to the portrait, and let's let's make the eyes a little bit sharper and bring life to them. A little too much. Ooh, right there, I like that. Let's get rid of some of the dark patches under her eyes. And that's because I didn't shoot with a fill light underneath. And I actually like right where it's at. Her lips look great. Look at that. Good. Awesome. All right. So here's what we started with. And then we just quickly applied that custom LUTs to it, and then a few of the other tools. Now, after looking at it closer, I'm not really loving the background being as sharp as it is. So you know what, let's dial it back. Now if I go over, let's make the background look blurry. So let's compromise just a little bit. And I want it to look a negative value. Good, so it's even more of that bokeh that I wanted. Awesome. There it is. Now, right click, adjustments, copy. Now that I copy the adjustments, here's where we came into my favorites. Now, I know all of these here were shot under the same lighting conditions. So I'm going to select the first one. Pressing the Shift key, I'll select the last one. Now I have all of them selected. I can right click, adjustment, and then paste the adjustments. And in a moment, Luminar is going to apply the same look to, pull it back up. It'll apply the same look to each one of these. Look at that. Now, you're wondering, why is that important? One of our other listeners the other day made a comment that he doesn't do any batch processing whatsoever. Each image he does is hand selected and does all these cool things to it. Well, that's great if you have the time. If this were for a major magazine ad, they would want the images to all look consistent. So that's why I saved it as a look and then just applied it to all the images in the set. All right. We pull it back up again. Okay. Hi, is Luminar 4 still laggy? Nope. I don't notice it. And again, keep in mind, and I'm glad you asked that question, it's just like anything else. Here's a great example. I went with Alexa in my home instead of Google. Now, the reason for it was I have Google on my phone. And every time I would call Google on my phone, it wouldn't work. And it got me so frustrated, I thought it was Google's fault. Nope. It was my Sprint service. Sprint wasn't strong enough where I am to get a service out to the internet, so Google wouldn't work. Now, I wish Google came along and said, sorry, but the internet, there's no internet connection. Try again in a few moments. So all this time, I thought Google stunk. And I thought Alexa was a better choice. That's why I went with Alexa. With that being said, it has a lot to do with your computer system. What type of computer do you have? And what type of graphics card do you have? Your graphics card, the GPU, is what Luminar lives for. So if you have a strong graphics card, the GPU, it'll blaze right through. And I haven't had any problems. I'm running this on a Microsoft workstation, or a Surface Station. I like it. I think there's like 32 gigs of RAM. I don't believe there's a dedicated graphics card in this, but I've had no problems with it. So again, to answer your question, is it laggy? Check to make sure what type of computer you have and where are you storing your Luminar catalog. And like you heard me say this throughout the whole week, store store your Luminar catalog on your fastest hard drive. All right, and you can find it just by going to File, Catalog, Show and Explorer, and here it is. Mine is on C drive, Luminar catalog, and I put it under demo. All right. Can I recommend a good graphics card? The NVIDIA ones. So again, I'm not this isn't on Skylum. This is Vanelli talking. Because again, I mean, Skylum can't recommend hardware stuff. Me personally, through all the years I've done this, I like the NVIDIA cards. However, we just got my son a new AMD computer. Oh my lord, that thing is so fast. I guess the best thing to do is I would check. You can go to Skylum.com and look for specs, and it'll give you suggestions. But the NVIDIA card, I've always used in the past, but now that my son has the new AMD chipset, his computer is just, you know, bobbing through. So, but do me a favor though, send me a private message, Vanelli at Skylum.com, and then again, off the record, Vanelli will answer that, not Skylum. I'll check with some of my friends, my computer geeks, who they feel that has the best, what graphic cards they recommend. All right? Did I rate? Okay, good. So, Ed, you're always there to save me, bud. Ed says, let's make sure it doesn't click off. Here it is. Did you right-click to save adjustments and then apply those adjustments to Luminar for a later date, or the loss until the adjustment is saved, creating looks with save it for a later date? So what he's saying is this. I came in here, right-clicked. In fact, let me deselect all of these for a moment. I right-clicked, adjustments, copy the adjustments, and then I applied them. I am so glad I caught that. I right-clicked, adjustments, copy the adjustments, and then I applied them to the rest of them. Now, if I shut Luminar down, not just Luminar, but if I close my computer, yes, then that copy that I just did here, the copy of the adjustments, will no longer be in the clipboard. If I come in and I go into a Word document and I copy something in Word, that adjustment may not be there. So it's better to save it as a Luminar look. However, keep in mind, you're going to love this. Here's all the images. Keep in mind, if you come up here and say, just show me any of the edited images I just did, it'll show you the edited images, and then you can come back again, right-click, weeks later, copy the adjustment. So, or let's say we're here like this, I like this look a lot, and let's say I never saved it as a look. And my buddy Ed says, Vanelli, I really like that look you created. Could you send it to me? Well, now, let's say a week later, I can still come over here and save the look. As soon as it gets ready. There it is. Yep, okay. Save the look, underscore. There. So I saved a look, and for my buddy Ed, saved it, and then I can send this off to Ed, and Ed has that same look that I just created. All right. So and keep in mind, if you look at the history tool, these are all the changes I made to that particular image. So if you want to go back and see, well, how did I create that look? Just click on the history tool, and you can actually see everything you did to create that look. All right. So Ed, thank you so much for that question. Because if you're wondering it, I'm sure a lot of other people are too. Hey, Mike from Philly. All right. Now, one thing we should also look at. Let's use this image again. No, I like this one. I'm going to reset the adjustment. All right, and close that down. So, excuse me, let's give it a moment. Now, if you're wondering, like here, there we go. I'm running so many different programs right now on the computer for broadcasting and stuff, and we're using a very large file. So your time may be different than mine. All right, so we saw how we applied the custom look to our image. Let's not forget, if I were to convert this to a black and white image, I can still come back and apply a custom look to this. And notice how it slightly changes. So even though there's no color in the image, the custom look is going to pretend that it's still colored, and then it'll apply the black and white fluid like that. Then it'll apply a black and white filter to it. So it's acting as if it doesn't see this. That looks really sharp. I like that. So it's acting like it doesn't see this, although we have a black and white on it. So look at that. Look how cool that applied it. So what I'm getting at is if you want to get really creative and start changing up your looks, don't forget you can still do like a black and white look and then apply the LUTs to that. Now that we're here, let me see. Let's check out a couple things. I like this. You know what? I think we're onto something. I like that. Bring it in just a little bit. Good. There we go. Before, after, just dial it back just a touch, right about there. Ooh, I like that a lot. Oh, you know what? I'm going to keep that. So here's the look. Save it, and let's call this black and white. Angelique. Black and white Angelique with a LUTs. So now if I look at this, I can tell what I applied to it. Now, since I got you guys here, you know what? Because it's a black and white, honestly, let's add a couple more things to this, like film grain. So this film grain, it's not what you're thinking, digital noise. Let's go to 100%. Back off just a little bit. God, she is so beautiful. Anyways, ready? Here's an outrageous amount. Let me dial it back just a little bit. Right about here. And then we can actually adjust the size of it. In fact, let's go overboard so we can see what the size is doing. I like that. What about the roughness? Good. So now that we know what it's doing, let's dial it back. Right about here. All right, so what did that really do for us? Let's go to 100%. That's a little too much. That's going to give parts of these black and white just a little more texture. It's that little extra that makes the difference. I like it right there. Especially when I go to print it. All right, that's great. Now, while we're at it, we might as well come over to the skin enhancer. And the shine is fine, but I definitely love to increase the eyes. She has such beautiful eyes. And any of the dark circles. I love this face lighting. Look at this. And while we're at it, let me add one more effect. Let's try the Orton effect. You have 1 and 2. 1 is more for saturation. 2 just adds more of a softer glow. Ooh, look at that. I like that. There we have it. So before and after. Then let's come down here, right click, and I want to update with current settings. So now the settings are updated. Now the settings are updated. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Seth says, how would you remove the distracting bright areas in the top left? So I'm assuming these areas right in here. Couple ways. We could either copy this section here and move it up on top. You could crop it. So problem solving. Let's see. I actually like the way this is cropped, so I don't want to mess with the crop, okay? So what we can do is create a stamp layer. Now a stamp layer, like we mentioned before, is a copy of the bottom layer and all the changes made to that layer. So when we stamp it, it's basically like we're merging all of it together onto a brand new layer. So when we finish, what I'm going to do is take that stamp layer and we're going to adjust it and move it up a little bit. And all I want to do is copy this section right here. All right. So now that we have the stamp layer, I want to transform it. Now I could use the clone and stamp tool on it. Sometimes I just find that this is so much faster. See what I just did? And then just change it up a little bit so it doesn't look like it's cloned and stamped. Right about there. Apply it. And remember, all we're doing is focusing on this area here. So now, since all the tools have a mask feature, so does the layer. What we want to do is we want to paint, not erase, just this area up here. And notice the rest of it will disappear. There we go. That's showing me where I'm painting. Let's come back over and erase some of this area here. And so who asked the question? Seth? All right, Seth. So does that help with removing the distraction here? Let's see. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen over here. Okay, that's not bad. It's not great. I kind of botched that one. Let me try that again. Paint. And lost my, oh, here it is. I got my pen. There we go. Boom. All right. And then Seth, if that's bothering you, good. If Seth, if that bothers you here, we can still do the same thing. Paint should be, and just a little bit depth. There we go. All right. But that gives you an idea. If that, and again, if that's too much, which to me it looks a little bit too much, I could bring the opacity down and just dial in just a little bit of it right there. There we go. All right. So, and again, I mean, the easiest thing to do obviously would be to crop it. So, and I know, Seth, now you got me going, huh? So, and it's funny. Yes, 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 yes. So, thank you, Seth. So, excuse me. You know, guys, it's like my producer is sending you guys text messages saying, "Hey, Seth, ask Vanelli if you can feather the edges." Yes, you can feather the edges. So if we go back to the brush and we come over here to the masking, here's where the feather comes in. Look at that. So thank you, Seth. So yes, you can feather the so you can feather the mask, and again, the density. You have a whole bunch of stuff you can apply. But remember, it's showing the bottom part of that layer. Good, and there it is. All right, that's awesome. So that's Angelique, and that's how we would use, and that's how we could use the simple LUTs or lookup table to totally change the look and feel of an image, and we can apply it to many different images. In fact, let me get you to one more. Move all the way to the top. This is my favorites. Nope, it was under South Dakota. And let's see if I have my favorites in here. Yep, perfect. Okay. Here was the image that started it all. This was the image, and I'm going to reset it. So this image right here that I took of Mark Nelson during the, what was the name of it? The Black Hills Photo Shootout. The Black Hill Photo Shootout, my buddy Jason Hahn invited me to come in to be a keynote speaker. And this is the first time, right after I was in South Dakota, we rushed over to Vegas for WPPI, and that's where I met the team at Skylum, and they told me to pick any photo I had. So that was my first photo, and they just said, all right, tell me what you would do to that image. And I kid you not, I looked into the looks, I saw dramatic, clicked on dramatic look, done. And I just fell in love with it. Look at that. I just fell right in love with it. I can come over here and check out my LUTs. And if I want to, look at this. I can take that look I just created and start changing it, make it look more cinematic. Ooh, that looks so cool. So you can apply the LUTs to all your image editing. There's so many different things you can do with it if you want a color change very quick. So let's see. There's just a done button in the brush. No. Nope. So, no. It's one of those things, if you change your mind, she's asking about the brush tool. It's one of those things, if you change your mind, you can go back and erase and, just paint on and off, back and forth, back and forth. But if you decide to erase, if you decide to change your mind, just hit done and then come over to the history and go down one level. Or Control Z or Command Z. Now, do you need to merge the layers afterwards? No. You could, like if we were going to do further editing, Seth, yes, I would merge the layers afterwards. Good. Awesome. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much. It's a really fun exercise on creating this. One moment. Let's see. Yes, you can also use dodge and burn to get rid of the dark spots. So, and keep in mind, our goal at Skylum is to become purpose-centric, not tool-centric. Because there's almost all programs have similar tools. The difference is a lot of our tools that are AI or powered by AI are unique to anywhere else, to where it's doing it for you, which is phenomenal. Like the portrait stuff, I can't tell you as a portrait photographer how that saved me. In fact, my little girl Erica, for her graduation, her mother asked early this morning, hey, do you have those images we shot over the weekend? Could you please send those? I want to pick them for her graduation card. Well, I don't have time to go through full edits, so I just selected all of them, and I applied my AI enhancer to it, smoothed the skin, enhanced the eyes, got rid of the blemishes, applied it to all, I think it was like maybe 32 images, uploaded them to SmugMug for her, and now she has them. So, and that, right there, 32 images, done. And then all she needs to do is pick her favorite, and if I have to, I'll go back through and edit just those, above and beyond what she wants. But they look phenomenal. They already look great for printing and for what she needs. So the AI tools just work wonders. The dodging and burning, that's if I decide to get a little more into the image and I really want to, like in a case like him here, but if I really wanted this leather to come out, oh, here we go. If I wanted the leather to come out just a little bit more, I could do our dodging and burn, and our traditional editing in there. So, but guys, thanks again. Please, it's very important. Please give us a thumbs up on this video if you like it. Share it with your family and friends. Hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified. We're coming out, excuse me, each day at 5 o'clock. We'll have a lunch break or a coffee break at 5 o'clock. The other thing is comments. We're taking your comments and then we're applying them to some of the shows. So if people start asking enough questions on certain features or problems that they want to solve, we'll work on them in the next show. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. You have a great, safe weekend. Talk to you guys soon.